On today's show, we're talking about how do you know if you've picked the right idea. We're talking about do you need a mentor, networking, and selling through social media, and basically any other question pertaining to starting up and getting the right idea and getting out there and getting started. Welcome to episode 3 of the #AskDK show. So today we're going to be going through some questions that we received. So one of the questions that I got was, how do I know if my idea is the right idea? So you want to start your business, you've been thinking about it for ages, but it's really hard to know if you've got the right idea and if you're going to actually fail or succeed based on the right idea. So I've mentioned this before in one of my talks. When I started my business, I went and met with an entrepreneur mentor. His name is Neil from Kohlstadt, and he sort of was talking me through my idea phase and some of the ideas that I had. And I wanted to start a business in plastics. I was going to mold something and then, have it made in China and then sell it to the retail market. So he asked me a couple of simple questions. He said, "Do you know anything about plastics?" I said, "No." "Do you know anything about making things in China?" I said, "No." "Do you know anything about exporting, importing?" "No." "Do you know anything about retail?" "No." So he said, "Okay, you could probably do this, but you're going to have a very high, very expensive learning curve." He said, "What do you know?" And I said, "Marketing and digital marketing." He said, "Well, maybe you should start something in marketing and digital marketing," which I did, thankfully, and my very successful company, Shift One, has been running now for 6 years. So the first thing I have to ask you is, how well do you know the industry? Another very successful entrepreneur I heard about would spend a year researching every industry that he was about to go into. 1 year. He knew every single pain point that the customers had. He knew who the customers were. He knew what they thought of all the suppliers out there. He knew who all the suppliers out there and his competitors were going to be. He knew the entire distribution pipeline back to front. He knew the macro environment, the micro environment. He'd really done his research and his homework. And so when he started his companies, he would be successful. And he went on to sell 10 companies for multi-million dollars every single time because he did his homework. So if you don't have time to do the homework, then you're going to have to understand you're going to have a very high learning curve, and it might be an expensive learning curve. So if you're not going to go out there and do the research, then fine. I have one question to ask. What is the point of pain that you are solving? So who's got a pain, and are they prepared to pay for it? So for example, Shift One started off helping entrepreneurs, micro-entrepreneurs, startups, SMEs to grow their business through digital marketing. We help them find clients. Now we help bigger entrepreneurs and corporates and companies to find more clients and grow their businesses. We actually go out there and we harvest the clients. Cold calling is dead. We use digital marketing to bring you clients. So that is a very clear need, and yes, people are prepared to pay for it. So yeah, I don't know if that helps you, but you need to know if you've got the right idea. So there are loads of online videos you can watch on making sure you pick the right idea, but it helps if you know something about the industry. All right, second question is, do I need a mentor? And I must say I really needed a mentor. When I started my company 6 years ago, I didn't know anything about the route ahead, how to be an entrepreneur, and very small things really swayed me. I became unstuck quite easily. And at this stage, when I look back at those tiny little trials that I had and those tiny little Goliaths that I faced, they're really small now. But at those points in time, they nearly killed me. And I was terrified of those Goliaths. Now I face much bigger Goliaths, and I've beaten them every time. I really suggest getting a mentor. Now, mentors, I've had different mentors for different phases of my life. There's a lot of people out there calling themselves business coaches. You should ideally be able to trial somebody for free before you sign up, because some of them are really expensive, and I've been ripped off quite badly by a few of them. Not a few of them, by I'd say one of them. you know who you are. Just basically charging me a fortune and saying that, oh no, you'll see the 10 times the value in 3 months, and I never saw the value at all. And so there was, you know, people have a quality price association. I thought, okay, I don't mind paying this huge amount of money because it's going to bring back 10 times the return, and it didn't. Basically, I could have read a few textbooks and known what he knows. So, but I have now got these incredible business mentors called business doctors, and they've given me these 12 pillars for my business, and I'm working pillar by pillar through my business to grow my business, take it to the next level, to remove me from the day-to-day complexities of my business. And I can honestly tell you that you will grow your business a lot faster if you partner with the right mentor. And then when you outgrow your mentor, you'll know. When you know more than them and you find that you're doing all the talking and they're not really adding any value in the conversation, then you know you've outgrown your mentor. But definitely get yourself a mentor. It's money well spent. All right, question number 3, networking. What's the role of networking? Do I need to be part of these networking events? So there's loads of networking events out there. There's Business Networking International, BNI, you know, there's Chamber of Commerce networking events. You know, if you, literally every suburb's probably got about 3 to 6 networking events that happen throughout the week. And I have gone to those extensively, and I found that there were a lot of small entrepreneurs there. And I didn't really make a lot of sales from the smaller entrepreneurs. So if your target market is entrepreneurs, then by all means go to the networking events. I found what was more successful for me was hosting my own events. But you might not feel comfortable speaking in front of people. You might not feel comfortable, you know, creating an event, sending out an invitation. But there's nothing more powerful than hosting your own event. People get to know you, they get to see your style, they get to decide whether they want to work with you or not. But I didn't find that much benefit in going to networking events simply because people didn't really get to know me on a very deep personal level, because you've got very limited time to convince people to work with you. So, but definitely give it a try. Okay, question number 4, can I use social media to sell? Absolutely. Absolutely. So most social media platforms have what we call DM, direct message functionality. So you could go into Twitter and you could message me on Twitter. You can message me on Instagram, you can message me on Facebook, you can message me on LinkedIn. So the big key to selling via DM, direct message, is that you have to offer me something of benefit. Number 2, you have to have read my profile. I cannot tell you how many people contact me on a daily basis via LinkedIn to try and sell me SEO, web design, app design, graphic design, paid advertising, and I usually just reply in a very cheeky way. Look, if you bothered to read my profile, you'd see that I actually also sell that. So the first lesson is, it's like online dating. Make sure that you've read the person's profile, make sure that you've noted what they do, and then spend some time thinking about how you can solve a point of pain. What is their point of pain? Why would they want to work with you and not somebody else? So try to put yourself into their shoes and think, what is their boss going on and on about? What are their key performance indicators, KPIs? What are their stress points, and how can you solve that? So instead of going there and asking them for something, you need to go to them and give them something. So if you're going to direct message me, I want to know what you're going to give me. How can you prove yourself to me before I even work with you? And that's really the way to use social media. Okay, so the other way to sell using social media is the traditional way, where you write a blog and you burst it out over all these different social media platforms, and you use the relevant hashtag for people all around the world who are following that hashtag to find. So I wrote a blog called 5 People Who Should Never Design Your Website, and I burst it out on Twitter and all the other platforms, and I used the hashtag WebDev, and somebody in Chicago was following the hashtag WebDev. He read the blog, he liked it, he contacted me, we did some business. Another ex-client of mine I know tweeted somebody and that was making derogatory comments about one of his cars. And he tweeted that person, offered them a free car, them and their producer a free car for a month. And the DJ and the producer ended up buying the car at the end of the trial period. I also know people who set up all their meetings via Twitter. Somebody says something on radio, they tweet them, the person replies, they go for coffee, they have a meeting, they end up getting clients. So the main thing about social media is you can use hashtags to find people who are talking about what you're interested in, or you can just use the search button on any platform, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. You can search for people who are talking about what you're interested in. Then you can click on their profiles and see somebody who you think might be interested in your services, and then you can send them a direct message and make them an offer. Thanks very much. That was episode 3 of the hashtag AskDK show. Please send me any more of your questions that you might have. You can email them to me, you can tweet them to me. Just use that hashtag AskDK and I will pick them up. And don't forget to subscribe, and please share this with any of your friends who are entrepreneurs or are thinking about being an entrepreneur. Thanks, see you next week.